welcome to another interesting video. It's a long time we did something like this, but today we're going to be watching something very interesting. It's coming from this lady called Feli from Germany, and the title is Germans Pee Differently than Americans. Random differences. Germans pee differently than Americans. I don't understand. Is there a different way to pee than the normal way we pee already? Anyway, we're going to find out in today's video. I'm also as curious as you guys are. And before we dive into the video, I'm okay. Welcome to the channel. If it's your first time here, I'm so happy to have you here. Like, share, subscribe, turn on post notification bell. Drop in the comment section what you think about the video. Especially if you're German or you lived in Germany, what you think about this video. If you love to support the channel, use the super thanks button there to support the channel. You know, watch my ads, watch to the end, drop your comment, like, share, subscribe. You're helping the channel that way, okay? Let's quickly see this together.
So what do I mean when I say Germans pee differently than Americans? Well, I actually just found out about this a couple of months ago when some friends and I were hanging out at the place of a German couple I'm friends with here in Cincinnati, and they have a sign in their bathroom that says, "Please take a seat," which to me as a German seemed totally normal. I didn't even really notice it. But then one of my American friends pointed out how German that is, and that's when I first learned that men in the US do not sit down when they pee. And yes, you heard right, this means that in Germany, it's pretty normal for men to sit down to pee.
Hey, ich warn dich, wenn du vorhast, hier aufs Klo zu gehen, dann setz dich bloß hin.
Now, there's more to the story, of course. Not every German man does this, and I'm sure there are some men in the US who do, but as a woman who doesn't really think about this topic ever, I was really surprised to find out that there was a cultural difference here. So I did some research and found out that in Germany, this is in fact a more recent development. So sitting down to pee for men has become more and more common over the past few decades. And obviously, I'm not a guy, but I do remember that even in kindergarten, back in the 90s, the boys were taught that they're supposed to pee sitting down because that was considered like good manners, while standing urination was almost like the rebellious way. Of course, those were kids, and I'm sure American daycares don't want little boys to pee all over the place either when they're standing. But even later, when growing up, you would see those signs in public bathrooms or at people's places to tell men to sit down. So it's definitely a thing in Germany, and if a man does sit down to pee, it's associated with good manners and showing respect. Does that mean German men never pee standing up? Nope, absolutely not. Obviously, standing is just way more convenient in a lot of situations, and a lot of men just prefer that over sitting down. And yes, of course, you will find urinals in public bathrooms in Germany, just like you do in the US. Now, when it comes to numbers though, I did find a statistic, and this actually surprised me because it said that only 50% of German men prefer standing urination. I would have expected it to be the majority, to be honest, and about 67% even said that they always sit down when they're at home. And the topic even made it into the worldwide news in 2015 when a German landlord in Düsseldorf demanded a payment of about 2,000 euros from her tenant because he had allegedly damaged the marble floor with urine because of his peeing habits. The court ruled in favor of the tenant though and said that he was indeed allowed to pee standing up because it's still a common practice. Now, from what I found out, this whole debate about standing versus sitting started in the 1970s and 80s in Germany during the women's movement, in West Germany to be precise, and that's when you'd start seeing these stickers on toilet seats everywhere. And as I said, since then, sitting down to pee for men has become more and more common in Germany and in other European countries as well. But apparently this wasn't and isn't really a thing in the US, and I have to say, logically, this doesn't really seem to make a lot of sense. Standing urination is just as messy in the two cultures, and if about 50% of German men actually prefer to pee sitting down, then why don't American men do it? Or maybe my American friends were wrong when they told me that it wasn't really a thing in the US? I have to say it's a little mysterious to me, so please help me out and let me know about your experiences in the comments below. If you're American, Has this topic ever even come up? Were you ever taught to pee sitting down? Do you guys talk to your kids about it? And if you're German, what's your experience with this? Did you grow up with the premise that standing urination is bad behavior? Or if you're from somewhere else, what is it like in your country? Let me know. Before I wrap this up, I should probably mention that even though peeing sitting down is a totally accepted and encouraged thing in Germany, the myth that it's not very manly that a lot of people mention in this context does exist in Germany as well, and we even have an insult that's based on this. Calling a man a Sitzpinkler, a sitter, or sitting weir, pretty much means that he's a wimp and not very manly, which is ridiculous on so many levels. I hope we can all agree on this. So this was the first topic from my Random Differences series. Now, please help me understand this, let's call it interesting cultural difference.
What do you guys think about this whole cultural thingy? I mean, this is like the first time I've never ever heard that men sit to pee. Like, I'm shocked. As a Nigerian woman, I am so shocked. And I never knew this was like a thing. You know, when we started, I was like, there a different way to pee, like the normal way people pee. And I find it a bit weird that men have to sit to pee. I remember there was a conversation where people were saying, oh, when men sit to do the number 2, do they put their thing out or inside? I don't know if you guys remember that conversation. And I'm saying sitting down to pee, I don't know how to feel about that. I don't know. It's just a bit weird. Like, Germany is weird. And I love and it's also interesting to find out that 50% of the men stand to pee because they feel it's more convenient. I can understand the mess it makes when you're trying to pee. That's why as you grow older, you're growing older, you get to understand how to aim better. I'm not a man, so I don't really know these things, right? But I just feel like it's just weird. Like, it's my first time ever hearing that men have to stand up to do the number 1. Like, they have to stand up to pee. You have to, like, that's how they pee. Like, it's not the way they pee. Is there a different way? Well, I'm learning something today. What do you guys think? If you're from Germany or you're German, you've lived in Germany before, is this a thing? If you say in the USA, she said she saw a sign on in the US toilet where they said, please use the seat. I think she said so on a US toilet, a toilet in the USA, and her friend was like, oh, that's strange to her. What do you guys think? Where you're watching me from, which country are you watching me from? What is the norm? The norm I know is men stand to pee and not to sit down to pee. That's really strange. But I really love to know you guys' thoughts, what you think about this video. Do men stand or pee? Are you from I think British people stand to pee. I don't know. This is strange. If Germany can say their usual custom is to sit down to pee there, I don't know, honestly. But I really love to know what you guys think. What's the story behind sitting down to pee, right? Please drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do also like, share, subscribe, turn on post notification bell, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.